and welcome to another exciting episode of the Dreaded Archer podcast. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Tyler Preszler. How you doing today, Tyler?
You know what? I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. Hey, I was going through Instagram one day and I came across one of your pictures and I clicked on it because it looked like you were at Tech.
You know, we were. I remember seeing you at Tech. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna follow this guy.
Right? And I was like, wait a minute, this dude was at the same Tech as us. So I started looking at your stuff, and then I saw in your bio that you got 6 of the 10 of the North American, is
I'm
it Big 10?
I'm getting there. Yep, I'm slowly getting there. It's been a process. I will say, I know it's the dreaded Archer podcast, but they're not all archery so far on my Big Ten. So
Oh, hey, that don't matter. Hey, I'm just a dreaded archer, but hey, I do pick up a rifle from time to time
fair enough.
because hey, sometimes you need something that's gonna reach out and touch them.
You know what? I've always been. I like to call myself an opportunist hunter. You know,
Oh yeah,
at the end of the day, I love hunting, and whatever's going to give me the best opportunity to kill what I'm after, I'm all for it. Typically, archeries give you a lot of opportunity, which is the nice part. So
yeah. Archery gives you a longer opportunity. The season tends to be a lot longer than rifle, but
oh,
hey, like my dad always says, hey, if I can kill a deer with a stick, I'll do it.
oh, it's true, man. I mean, so I've been living in Nebraska for about the last 8 years, and you talk about hunter opportunity. Our archery season here in Nebraska runs. It's dang near 7 months out of the year.
Good gracious.
It's crazy. Our turkey season starts uh middle of March, March 15th, runs to the end of May. And then our archery deer season starts September 1st and goes essentially till mid-January.
Oh, good, great. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
You
lot of
guys are.
that's a lot of time.
Oh yeah, that sounds like down in Arkansas. I'm originally from Texas, but I do a lot of hunting in Arkansas. The season starts in what September, I think like September 20th, and runs to like February, like second or third week of February. So you got a ton of time. But in
Yeah.
Arkansas, archery is good luck.
Fair enough.
Good luck because when rifle season starts, it sounds like World War III. Everybody's shooting everything that moves, so it's slim pickings, man. But hey,
I
Tyler,
get it, man.
oh yeah. But hey, before we get started, man, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So obviously I love hunting, but at the end of the day, we all got to pay the bill somehow, right?
Right?
So I'm a nurse anesthetist. Grew up in a family of nurses. They pointed me down a direction in healthcare. So I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist. So I'm at the head of the bed, doing any sort of type of anesthesia that you would need going in for surgeries. You know, so I do peripheral nerve blocks, labor epidurals, any sort of general anesthetic needs that you would need going in for any sort of surgical procedure. So it's been a lot of training, but I've been doing it for 5 years. I love it. It gives me the opportunities to, spend as much time outdoors as well. It's been an interesting work life balance. Like I had mentioned earlier, my wife and I just switched jobs, and I just took a job that is a week on, week off. So it's going to
Hey, you can't
allow
beat that.
a little more opportunity to hopefully spend a little time outdoors. So,
Oh, heck yeah. Hey, so are you the person that puts people to sleep
yep,
before surgery? All right, so
yep.
check this out. So when I was in high school, I tore my labrum.
Okay.
So I had to have surgery. Very first surgery ever. And I remember being on the bed and we're getting pushed down the hall, and this guy walks up and puts something in my IV. And he was like, I count to three. And I was like, one.
And you don't remember anything,
Nope.
right?
It was like I remember going to sleep and waking up, and it was like a 6 hour surgery. I'm like, I don't even feel like I was asleep for 6 hours. But I was like, man, this is wild. And,
Yep.
oh yeah.
We get that a lot.
Oh yeah, it's that's some good stuff right there.
You know
And
what? You know who also said that though?
who?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, that's not.
I mean, propofol, we use it all the time. That's unfortunately,
I
yeah.
mean, do people get hooked on that stuff?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, it does happen.
Oh,
There,
I knew
we
you
do a
from
lot
the
of.
streets.
I mean, obviously, narcotic. There's been a huge narcotic thing going on in this country, so we try to do as much as we can non-narcotics as well. So
Right.
to
Yeah,
to
that's
minimize the risk of addiction. So
hey, that hey man, that stuff right there is something else. And and like and you're a nurse, and my mom, she actually once me, my brother and sister, we all got out of college and everything. She's like, you know what? I put y'all through school. Now it's my turn to go back. And she had been a dialysis technician for
oh,
25 years. And she's like, you know what? I want to be an RN. And she went to school, and in 2020 she graduated, and she passed the
that's
NCLEX. She's RN now, and you can't tell her nothing.
dude, that is awesome. Good for her,
Oh
man.
yeah, she's super excited, and anytime I'm home, she's talking about what's going on at her job, and she's just like a got a new lease on life.
She's probably checking your blood pressure and making sure you go see your
Oh,
doctor,
oh,
isn't she?
oh, she brought me a blood pressure machine. Hey, when you get up every morning, you check your blood pressure. I know
Oh
you're young, but just young people dropping dead of heart attacks all the time. I'm like, all right. And
yeah.
for a while, I started using it every morning, and then I was like, I'm not doing this. And but anytime I got any kind of call for a body ache, hey, what's going on? And
Yep,
she
yep.
go do this, this, and this. And during the whole pandemic, she bought everybody vitamins and hand sanitizer. She started making her own hand sanitizer when she couldn't find it.
Yeah,
She was on it.
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Typical nurse right there. So
Oh, definitely, definitely. She make sure we're all taken care of, man.
that's awesome.
So what all hunting do you do during the early season?
You know what? At the end of the day, it really comes down to obviously I'm working towards my Big Ten. So if I can sneak something in towards that, I will. I'm kind of getting down the line now where it's been like I'm getting to the expensive ones,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I mean, sheep aren't cheap. Moose aren't cheap. I mean, there's ways you can do it on the cheap. Like I've got a ton of points in Colorado. I mean, I could definitely go shoot a cow moose or an ewe sheep in Colorado, but at the end of the day, that's not really why I'm doing it.
Right.
So I'm after the experience, I'm after the adventure, and I mean, I don't want to just check a box. So,
Right. You want to get something big.
yeah, well, and I want to enjoy the trip, and it's just not. I mean, like I said, as much as I am an opportunist, I want to harvest a mature animal.
Right.
It's not about getting it done as quick as I can. It's about being happy with the animals that I take. So
I
this
got you.
year I try every year I try to get out west um, for 2 hunts. That's what I try to do. Try to do an early season hunt, September, deer, elk, um, or if I can get to the North Country for like a caribou or sheep. I'm kind of working that way to start doing that. And then obviously rut time here in Nebraska, end of October, early November. I stick around here. So, um, and I do try to work in one family hunt a year.
Oh yeah.
My parents have a small ranch in Southwest Colorado that we try to get back to, do a little family hunt down there. So we try to do as much as we can to still make those trips happen. I mean, life gets in the way. My brother's
Oh,
got a
always.
family. My wife and I are pregnant. We have our first on the way here in December. So life's changed. We work through and figure out. But luckily, my wife is incredibly supportive. She's on board with all of my crazy plans. She knows probably too much.
Right.
She knows what it costs for all this stuff, and she's like, you know what? We'll budget, we'll figure it out, and we'll make it work. So,
Hey, you got to keep it right there.
uh,
It's like, hey,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I,
oh
I
yeah,
I know it's gonna be expensive. You know what? Let's budget for it, baby. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
Heck yeah.
and at the end of the day, all my Nebraska hunting happens to be on their family land. So, I've lucked out.
Oh, heck
Got
yeah,
very
heck yeah.
lucky. So
So is she going for her Super 10 too?
she's not. No, she's so she grew up in in a cattle family, feedlot, so she is raised on beef, but luckily she is open to eating all the wild game that I cook. She loves it all. And as long as I cook it, she'll eat it. So,
Right. Oh
but
yeah.
she shot her first deer last year and her first turkey last year as well. So she's open to it. I don't want to push her too far, but
Right. Didn't she not like it?
yeah, yeah. So I put her in for some easy hunts, antelope here in Nebraska, building some points for deer and elk and antelope in Wyoming, that kind of stuff. So easy, glamping style camping trips that we can do as a family,
Oh
So
yeah. And then you got the little one on the way, and congrats. Once you get the little ones on it, that's gonna be fun.
yeah, man, I appreciate it. We don't know what we're having and we're not gonna know. So it's exciting.
Oh
So
yeah. I got a little one, she's 10 and really not into, well, she wasn't into hunting at all. It was kind of like, why are you doing that, Dad? Because we don't come from a hunting family. It's something I literally just picked up like 2 years, no, 3 years ago. So we don't come from a hunting family. And she was like, why are you doing that? And she thinks it's weird, but she likes the meat.
yeah, hey,
And
that's all
then
that matters.
that's all that matters. And then this year she was like, I'm out in the garage, tinkering with my bow, and she goes, Dad, I think I want to get a deer this year. So I'm like, yes,
Yep,
let's do it. So
yep.
I got her mentor tag, and she's gonna come up to South Dakota in November, and we'll go out and get her a doe or something, and she'll be excited. But she's normally a gamer. She's a gamer. She's in the coding,
Oh
outdoors,
wow.
kayaks, and all that. So she's already in the outdoors. Now we're just gonna add the little hunting aspect to it.
You know what? You might be opening up a can of worms there, my friend.
Hey, I'm down to open that can up though.
That there are worse things. So
Oh yeah, definitely. So,
yeah.
what got you on the quest for the Big Ten?
Oh man. So believe it or not, I mean I'm kind of an old man. I'm 35. I feel fairly old, with
Nah.
where I don't know. I feel old, man. So I grew up with actually reading a book, and I remember reading Chuck Adams' book, his Super Slam quest, Chuck Adams, and I'm like, someday I'm gonna do that, as a high schooler, I'm like, I'm gonna do that. And then you actually see what it costs to do it,
Mhm.
there's no way I'm ever gonna afford a true super slam. It ain't gonna happen, I might try working towards it, but at the end of the day, am I gonna afford $100,000 polar bear hunt? Probably not. And at the end of the day, do I really want to be the guy that just checks a box to kill a polar bear?
Right.
I mean, I mean, you can do a lot of awesome hunts for $100,000.
Oh yeah, a lot of hunts. I can think of a lot of hunts.
Oh man, that's a lot of awesome guided elk hunts right there.
Wait, is
A
that just
lot
for
of them.
one? Is that for one polar bear hunt?
I mean that's a rough ballpark. I couldn't tell you exactly where they're at nowadays, but
Ooh,
I
in
mean, I bet
inflation.
I bet that's in the ballpark.
So I thought polar bear were like on the extinct list, or
You can still go after them,
hmm.
but you can't expedite them back to the U.S. So you can never put that in your trophy room.
So then where does it go?
It stays in the country that you killed it. So obviously it stay in Canada.
Oh no, man.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
right. Exactly. It's like, why would I check that box? You
Exactly.
know, it's like no, I'm not all about no. It's like that's not as much as it's. I mean, if I want to do that, I'll find an outfit that just gets you up there and enjoy the Inuit life, and you go
Right.
explore and you actually sightsee it. I mean, costs you a whole lot less.
Oh, a whole lot less.
So
Oh, so we're getting kind of a little bit ahead of ourselves.
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Explain to people what the Super 10 is.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, so depending on what U.S. regulations are, I feel like it fluctuates. So the Grand Slam is, I think it's 25 or 26 species out of North America, and at the end of the day, the Super 10 is one of each species. So at
Okay.
the end of the day, that comes down to a bear, a mountain lion, a deer, an elk, a caribou, a moose, either a buffalo or a muskox, a mountain goat, an antelope, and one of the sheep. So that's your 10. So that's what it comes down to. They further break it down into all sorts of crazy stuff. Like you can, instead of a mountain lion, you can kill a jaguar, but it's got to be like prior to like 1972 when the hunting was legal. So
Yeah, I'm
it's,
like, who's shooting jaguar?
I mean, you can dart them. I think you can dart them for research purposes, but I'm not sure if that counts per se. But I mean,
I don't know. That'd be pretty cool.
it'll be pretty wild. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, because you got something that might be hunting you as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
So I was doing my research, and there's a lot of different slams out there.
so they do, yeah. So they in my research that I've done, they've added stuff too. They have like a 25 that you can do because they know it's tough to start killing some of these animals. Like killing a desert is ridiculously expensive, or your odds of drawing are, I mean, you're probably better at luck at winning the lotto than drawing some of these tags. So
Oh man,
they know that, and they've kind of done a pretty good job, it seems like, to incentivize people to enroll. Like I think they have like I don't know if it's a super 25 or pretty much no polar bear, no desert. It's kind of what it looks like.
yeah.
Those are kind of the big ones. And I know they've shut down some caribou hunting. I couldn't tell you which species off the top of my head, but one of the herds. Pardon me, I'm kind of looking at some notes
I
here.
know it's all
Couldn't
good.
tell you. Is it the central? I think it's maybe the central Canadian barren ground caribou that they shut down because the herd is like almost non-existent anymore. So
Man,
you can't even hunt them, I think.
you would think with all the like different big game farms that we could get that population back up again.
I mean, some areas do that. I know they definitely have some reserves where they actually um, have breeding grounds. Like with wild sheep right now. Movie, which is like the pneumonia they can get, is a big thing that just decimates herds. It's essentially a pneumonia. It's present. I mean, it'll wipe out a complete herd. And so there are certain high fence areas where they'll have like a breeding ground that is free of this disease that they kind of use to help supplement some wild herds, I believe. So
All right.
there's ways around it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just like whenever I hear like, oh, this herd is getting bad. I'm like, we got farms. Can't we just raise some and let them in the wild? But I, would a high fence animal survive in the wild?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of having the disease free area as a breeding ground.
Right.
I think helps. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I couldn't tell you all the details on how they all do it, but I mean, I think there's a scientific way to do it right and help supplement wild herds for sure. So
Oh, definitely.
I'm
So
definitely not the key contact on how
no,
to
me
that all
neither,
works.
man. Me neither, not at
I'm
all.
glad they do it. I support a lot of those foundations, and I mean, yeah, they do what they need to do. Wild Sheep Foundation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, they all serve a purpose.
Oh
So
yeah, try to that good old conservation.
yep,
So,
yep.
oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Ask you. Oh, what's the process? So, like when so you get your first animal. Say you get a whitetail,
Yeah.
and you want to say, you know what, I want to register it with this North American Super 10. How do you go about doing that? Is just going to the website and saying, hey, I killed this thing, or it's like a lot of paperwork.
Say that. Funny you say that. I haven't registered any of mine. you know, it, so that's a good question. So it's through Slam Quest, which is, I want to say, gosh, I'm trying to. Oh, I just closed my link. Sorry about that. So they, it's kind of like Wild Sheep Foundation. It's I want to say it's through Obis. It's pretty straightforward. I've looked into how to do it, and at the end of the day, it's just a simple registration form.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, I'm not the most. I haven't even gone through the process. It's on the to-do list.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Like I said, I mean, I don't have anything registered in Boone and Crockett, Pope and Young. I'll score them for personal reference, but I've never really submitted anything. It's just eventually I will, especially for this. I'll submit the forms I need to, but it's pretty straightforward.
Hey, I got beef with Boone and Crockett, man. I got some little beef with Boone.
Oh, really?
But yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh man, that's
Oh yeah. So when I knew I was having you on, I went to YouTube and I typed in North American Super 10,
yeah,
and they had like it's a banquet from last year,
yep,
and I was watching it, and there was one of the guys. He actually got his Super 10 in like 1976.
yeah, yep.
But then I guess I don't know if he like passed away or if whatever happened, but his family,
Submitted for them.
submitted all his stuff and he got it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
you can go way back then. And
Yeah,
I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. And I sit there and watched it in my car before I went into work.
yeah,
The
that's pretty
whole
sweet.
oh yeah. I
Yeah,
was like,
I've looked into it, and I have a few of their magazines. I've gone to the Wild Sheep Foundation banquet a few times, and obviously those guys are all there, and it's pretty straightforward. It's literally okay. It's been a few years, but it's like a single sheet, and it's when did you harvest it? How did you harvest it? Was it done ethically? Like it was pretty straightforward. So
yes. I mean, I wonder how many people out there they've done it, just haven't registered it yet.
I mean, probably more than have entered it for sure. But at the end of the day, you still have to kill a sheep. You still have to kill a buffalo or a musk ox. Mountain goat. I mean, there's still a few species in there that you kind of do have to go out of your way to kill.
Right.
So
Yeah, some of like the mountain goat, that seems pretty cool. I know one person who's gotten a mountain goat, and
now you know too.
yeah, now I know too. And he's a vet out in he was a vet out in California, and he retired to South Dakota. And I had stayed in the Airbnb that he owned, and he was like, "Oh, you see that mountain goat? Yeah, I killed that." And we got talking about it. I'm like, "Are you like an avid hunter?" He's like, "Nah, it's something I wanted to do." Like, hey, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. And I think he had a couple elk too, which he has some monster elk. Goodness gracious, man.
Yep.
So I'm like, ooh, I need to get on that. So with all these animals you're putting down, does your
Yeah.
wife let you get the mounts in the house?
That was kind of a non-negotiable. No. So with that said, I'm waiting on a lot of taxidermy to come back to me right now.
Oh yeah,
So
it's kind of backed up right now.
yeah, at the moment, all I have is I have a velvet whitetail I shot in North Dakota. That's the only shoulder mount I currently have. I have a few Euro mounts, and other than that, I mean, I've got nothing truly on the wall yet. I'm waiting on my black bear, my caribou. I guess that's it right now. So
Man, hey, I in 2019 I made the leap and I bought a guided black bear hunt up in Canada. Boom, pandemic hits. Can't get across the border.
oh, have you gone yet or no?
No, he keep pushing it back.
Are they going to let you go still?
He gonna let me go, but as soon as I'm able to get across the border, then it's good. But I'm like, can I get my money back? Like, no, no, no. Which I feel bad for him because I talk to him like from time to time, and like I think he said like 92% of his business comes from the lower states,
I believe it.
and with the border being closed, it just demolished his business and a lot of the different outfitters around him. And I'm like, well,
Yep.
we'll just keep me on the list until
Yep.
whatever happens, and hopefully, like maybe no one's hunting there, and the bears are getting even bigger. So when I go, I'll give me a nice boar.
Yeah. Is that going to be over bait or spot and stock?
Uh, I think it's over bait. I think yeah,
Yeah.
it's over bait. It's over bait. You in the morning you go fishing, and then they take you out in the evening and you over bait. So like, I would love to do a spot and stock, but if I do a spot and stock, I want to save a spot and stock bear hunt because I want to go to Kodiak Island and I want to get a big grizzly or Kodiak or whatever. I want to get a big bear.
Well, if you're ever looking for a really good spot and stock black bear, let me know. I know a guy who's specializes in archery guys. You'll love it. Great
Oh,
hunt.
hey, I'm down for it. Anytime I can take my bow out and put something down, I'm all for it, man. That's what I like to do.
Spring bear hunt, spot and stock. If I could get the time off every year, I would do that hunt every year. So much fun.
How close do you get?
I mean, I shot my black bear at I think 30 yards. I may have missed a bear closer than that earlier in the week, potentially. Rumor has it.
Hey,
Yeah,
we all miss from time to
I
time.
missed a bear at like 20 yards. No idea how it happened. I mean, only thing I could think of was broadhead malfunction, but because I mean
Yeah.
I don't miss that bad, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Well, are you a mechanical guy or fixed?
So that was my first year going mechanical.
Ooh,
I've not
yeah.
shot that mechanical ever since. I'm still shooting mechanical, but I have switched. And I don't
Right.
want to throw anyone under the bus, but
Hey, no, I don't throw nobody on the bus because you never know who'll come and want to give you a sponsorship.
that's fair. That's fair.
Leave it nameless.
Yep. Yep.
So are you because this is a big topic in the hunting industry.
Yeah.
When it comes to like your arrow and your bow setup, are you a heavy arrow guy or you go, light and fast?
I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit. So I grew up in Colorado, so I've been all about like an archery elk setup, so super heavy. And historically, I was super heavy, you know. But I mean, since then, I've moved to Nebraska, and you really don't need a super heavy arrow for these whitetails out here.
Right.
So I've tweaked my bow since I've came down on draw. I mean, drawing from a tree stand can have some super weird angles. So I mean, drawing back that super heavy poundage can be a little tough in a tree stand. So I've changed my setup over the last year and a half to drawing back a little bit less. So I have had to accommodate my arrow. But up until about a year and a half ago, I was shooting like a 550 grain arrow at whitetail,
Hey,
which is
hey,
huge.
yeah, that's huge, man. And I had the wrench fairy on 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "Hey, what are you shooting?" And I told him what I was shooting. He goes, "Ah, nope, that's too light." And which I'm kind of going back and forth. And then he sent me some arrows, and I think they weighed like I think it's like 640, 650.
That heavy?
Yeah, yeah. And I took it out in my backyard, and when I tell you it went through my target.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But it seemed I don't know if it was just the arrow, because I normally shoot just like, standard size arrow, and this is kind of like a micro. I've never shot a micro before. And I don't know if it was just the arrow or if it was the weight, but I feel like my bow shot better with those arrows.
Well, at the end of the day, it probably did. I don't know a ton about tuning, but at the end of the day, I do know bows will shoot an overspined arrow better than an underspined arrow. So,
Right. Yeah, it was
I
like a
mean,
250 spine.
geez,
So
that's
it's pretty stiff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was like, I like this. So I went to my pro shop and I'm like, "Hey, I need these arrows." And they were like, "Why you want to shoot that?" And it's like, I don't know. It just my bow felt like it shoots better with it. And it was like, well, how about this? You take these arrows you got, go out and shoot for 2 or 3 weeks, and then if you like it, we'll order it. At the bow shop I go to, they're old school.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, I know you see all this stuff on YouTube and on the internet, but you don't need all that fancy stuff. But if you want to buy it, they'll sell it to you."
Of course it will.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love it, man. So what's your setup right now? What bow are you shooting?
Matthew's verdicts now, which what like their 3-year-old bow. So that's what I'm still shooting. So Matthew verdicts compound, shooting the integrate rest on it. Uh, my buddies will give me a hard time because I like to tweak and tune and rechange everything, even though my bow shoots wonderful. So I've bounced back and forth over the last few years on sights. I don't even know what I'm shooting right now. I'm shooting it's a single stack, but a double pin on a movable
Okay.
sight. So I like it. I don't think I'm going to stick with it in the future. I love the 3-pin slider. Having that 20, 30, 40 on a
Yep.
slider is just it's money, you know. So
You see,
what?
I'm a gearhead. I go the newest and brightest thing that comes
Yeah,
out, I'm buying it. And I think I've only been shooting archery for about 4 years, and I bet you I've bought 10 sights.
yeah.
I just buy sights. Oh, don't like that one. I have 2 bows. I switch them out. My brother, he just started archery last year, so I give him stuff. He put on his bow. We just kind of like trading cards, man. Hey, try this, try this. And then I was at TAC this year, and I saw the Dowd archery sight. I'm like, I like that, but I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, and so they're still coming out, I think. So
Oh man, they're coming out with all kinds of stuff, and then when you go to the website, they're always on back order, and it seems like every big name hunter that's on Instagram has switched over to Dowd archery. And I'm like,
really,
yeah.
huh?
So like, I think the guys at Elk Shape, they've all switched to Dowd archery. The guys over at oh my goodness, I can't think of his name now. I think Born and Raised Outdoors, they've all switched to Dowd archery. I'm like, man.
Oh,
So
nice.
this dude is like the guy that owns it. He's just like, hey,
Yeah,
here, have it. It's either
I
that or the Ultra View.
and that's what I'm shooting right now is Ultra View.
Ultra View, yeah.
Yeah,
How
I
is that?
like I like it. I love the integrated light they have on it. If they came out with a 3-pin, that would be a game changer. I don't know if they ever will, but man, that would be sweet. So
Yeah, because man, I've only seen like one, like here in Sioux Falls at somewhere. I think it was Shields that was selling it, but I don't see it a lot of places. Normally at this stuff you get it online.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I think they're mostly online. So
which is probably the best way to go because you can reach a broader audience.
t-
But
today's market, it's the easiest thing to do.
it's all going
Consumer direct,
online.
man.
Yep. It shocked me a few months ago. I talked to a guy who owns a bow shop, and I was actually interested in, maybe getting into that business. And I was like, yo, what would you tell a guy that's trying to get into owning a pro shop? He's like, don't do it. He was like, don't do it, man. He was like, the big box stores are taking over, and then you got to deal with online stuff. And then you got people coming in and says, hey, I can get this,
Yeah,
online $20 cheaper.
yeah,
Then you buy it online.
yeah,
It's like, dang, man. Like, I didn't realize, like, for me, I like going to, like, when it comes to like my bow, I like going places, having someone work on it.
yeah,
I don't want to have to send my bow off anywhere, or I don't want to buy something online and not, get to put my hands on it.
yeah.
It's kind of how I am.
No, I mean, especially with archery equipment, it's so important. I mean, you've got to shoot a bow before you can buy a bow.
Right. And not many shops let you shoot.
Really?
Yeah, I know the one I go to, they do not. Either you look at it, you want it. If you want to shoot it, you got to buy it.
No kidding, huh? They
Yeah.
won't have a few set up?
Nope.
That's wild.
And at first I was kind of like, wow, like, that's dumb. Who, like, I wouldn't go to a car lot and buy a car before I
Without
get to
driving
test
it.
drive it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
his reason behind it, I had to agree with him. He was like, here's the thing. Matthews comes out with a new bow. He goes, I'll have 25, 30 guys come in wanting to shoot it, but they never buy it. And he was like, they have to take the time to set it up and do all that. And
All you got to do is set up one, you know. If it
that's what
doesn't
I
fit them,
would
it
think.
doesn't fit them. Tough
Just
luck.
just shoot the bow and get a feel for it. But
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, I mean, I guess I
it,
agree with you, man. I
it
agree.
makes
I
sense.
see. I see. It's your shop,
Yeah,
but hey, he don't got a problem selling bows. I can tell you that.
that's crazy.
Not a problem at all, man. Matter of fact, he's been selling a ton of those. What was it? Those Hunt Public, the Adapt. They came out with that bow with bear, and he's been selling those things like hotcakes.
I mean, it seems like people are so loyal to whatever brand they're shooting. So, I mean, you're shooting XYZ, you're going to shoot XYZ.
Right.
That's just because that's what you do. So,
Are you that way?
no, I mean,
No.
I've shot so many different bows in the past, well, 5 years, I guess. I went in. So when I graduated anesthesia school, I went out. I was dead set on buying a Hoyt. I was like, you know what? I'm buying the new carbon Hoyt. I went and shot. I shot the brand new Hoyts. I shot their their aluminum riser, the carbon riser. I shot the brand new Matthews, which at the time was like the Triax. Didn't like it because it was super short brace height. I mean,
Right.
that bow was like 30-inch axle to axle. Actually, might have been. I think that was 28 axle to axle. Just didn't like it. So I ended up shooting everything they had in their store and went with the Matthews 1-year-old bow and initially bought the Halon.
Oh yeah, that's a nice bow.
And I still regret, honestly, I swapped over from the Halon to the Verdicts when they came out with the new one. That Halon, I shot lights out. I've never shot a bow better than that thing. Should never have sold that bow, but I
Hey,
did.
you sound like my buddy's stepdad. He used to shoot the Matthews switchback,
Yeah.
and he sold it, got something new, and to this day, he regrets selling that switchback. Matter of fact, anytime he sees one, he want to buy it. He's like, I gotta get one.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you gotta get with what you like. Like, funny. Here's a funny story. So my brother, probably was it 2 years? Yeah, 2 years ago. He goes, man, what are you doing? What are you doing this summer? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Total Archery Challenge. I want to go. I'm like, you don't shoot a bow? Ah, man, I'm an athlete, man. I can just pick up a bow. So he drives 14 hours, comes to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I thought that he had been going up to the bow shop at home and
Oh
at
no.
least shooting something. No, not at all. Shows up, hey, what you got for me? I'm like, well, you can use my mission. He's never shot a bow. So this is literally we're
Oh,
a day out from TAC. He comes here. I let him. I set up I adjusted the draw length for him. He's out in the backyard shooting and doing pretty good. But we're at 20 yards. It's you know what TAC is like.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it ain't for you. It's not a beginner.
It's 67 and you got
Yeah,
to stand on one foot,
1 foot leaning behind a tree, and all that.
and you got a
But
window about that far to sneak that arrow. They
so,
make you work for it.
oh, definitely. And then it's not like we were doing any, I guess light courses. We were doing the Prime, the Yeti, and the
Oh,
Sika.
yeah.
So
You lost
I'm
a few
pretty.
arrows, didn't you?
Oh, so so we went to the bow shop. We got him. I think I got him like 2 dozen arrows. 2 dozen arrows. By the time we got to the sixth target, he was down to like he was down to like 6 arrows because he just kept shooting and then he would miss. I'm gonna shoot again. I'm like, dude. By the time we're like not even halfway done and you're almost out. But he ended up liking archery, so I was like, he's like for his birthday he wanted a bow. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get him a really expensive bow. So my the pro shop I go to, they got this. It's like 30-06 uh River Creek Warrior Courage. It's $200. Let me tell you, my brother will not. He will never shoot another bow. He loves that bow, and I like.
No
Let me tell
kidding.
you, dude. It's 31 inches axle to axle. We shot through what's it called? A chronometer?
The chronograph?
Chronograph. Yeah, shot through a chronograph. Dude, like 321 feet per second. I'm like, it's a $200 bow
With his hunting arrow?
with his hunting arrow.
Holy crap.
So we go to TAC this year. Now, mind you, this is the second year that he's been shooting a bow, but I got him the bow for his birthday in last September.
Okay.
He when he brought it to South Dakota, it still had the tags on it. He never shot it. So I'm like, oh, bro, you tripping, man. So break all the stuff off, go out to the archery range, shoot. I'm good. Let's go. Tyler, let me tell you, he was shooting that bow as if he'd been shooting for like 20 years, man. He was 20 yards, pack, 60, pack, 80, pack. I'm like, bruh. He goes, dude, I've been watching YouTube. he accredited his archery talent to YouTube. I'm like, nah, man. I don't know what he just got lucky this year. I don't know, but since then, he's been like owning every day. This is gonna be his first year actually archery hunting. And I was like, bro, like, but I'm telling you, if you ask him today, he will tell you there is not a bow on the market better than that River Creek
Hey,
Creek Warrior.
Whatever
Courage
floats your
Warrior.
boat, right? I
He
mean,
loves it, man. He is not big on brands at all. He's like, yo, this is my bow, and he let people know about it.
that's awesome.
I love it, man. I love it. So,
Uh,
what are your plans for this hunting season?
well, I had a Colorado muzzleloader deer tag that I was planning on going on, but that finished Sunday, and
Oh,
with the new job change, it wasn't gonna work. So
yeah.
it's just like it is what it is. So this year, my big hunts, I'm actually going to Kodiak for blacktail deer hunt. So
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, I bid on an online auction for a boat-based hunt for 4, and so that's where I'm going with three of my buddies. So we're going in end of October. So
So, do you got to fly like straight there, or do you got to
oh,
drive
it's
in and take a puddle plane?
no puddle planes. We'll fly. We'll go Omaha, Seattle, Anchorage, Kodiak. So and then from there, we're actually gonna jump on our boat from there, and we'll boat out to our spot. So
Oh yeah, and what's it gonna be like a spike camp?
nope, we're sleeping on the boat. So boat-based hunt. So
Oh, boat bait. Okay, I got you. I got you
yep.
now.
So we're sleeping on the boat at night. So no sleeping with the grizzlies. So well, I wouldn't say brown bears. So no sleeping with the brown bears. Which would be nice. I'm not very fond of really big bears, so that'll be interesting. So
Yo, y'all. Hey, so when you come to Tech, do you ever go to Black Hills Archery?
no, I've not been there.
Yo, next time you're out in Rapid City, stop
Really?
by, stop by
Okay.
and talk to Al. Al's the owner.
Okay.
I don't know how long ago it was, but he killed. I think he said it was like the third largest grizzly bear in the world.
Oh wow.
He was 90 feet from it
Yeah.
on top of a rock, and I was like, man, whatever. Like, I'm sure you did. He goes, oh, I'll show you the video. So in this video, you see Al crouched up against this rock, and you see the back of the bear like right in front of him. He shoots it, and I've never heard anything roar like this bear did, to the point where the cameraman dropped the camera. Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa, that got that got that got pretty hectic." And
Yeah.
then, but here's the thing: it ran in the thicket,
Oh,
so and it didn't give the death moan. So it was like, who's gonna go in that thicket?
yep.
Who's gonna go in there and figure out if that bear's dead or not?
The person
And
with the rifle.
but the bear ended up expiring, and I think he said it's like 7 foot on his back feet. Seven
Wow.
foot, 7'5". I mean, it's a big bear. I mean, Al's probably like 5'6", 5'7", and like he holds the bear's paw up, and you can't see his face. I mean, it's massive. So yeah, when you get a chance, swing in the Black Hills
I'll
Archery
check it out. Yeah.
and check him out, and he'll tell you the story. He'll show you the video. I think he had just bought. I think it was either the Tri-X or the Halon for that hunt. Shot that bear. Now the Halon is in the frame with the broadhead and arrows. Like you shot it one time, or you hunt with it one time, and now it's in a frame. But he owns a bow shop, so he ain't worried about it.
That's awesome.
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like I should preface that. So when I say I'm not fond of bears, so when we were in Alaska on our caribou hunt, so I've killed a caribou. It was, what year was that? Was that 2020? I think it was 2020. It was the big COVID year. So we had an Arctic grizzly bear come into camp in the middle of the night.
Nope.
So there's 3 of us. It was myself, my good buddy Josh, and his twin brother. And they gave us an extra tent that we had all our dry goods, so our mountain house meals, and we kept our packs in there. So just a dry space. Middle of the night, we just heard this noise that I'm like, what in the heck is that? I'm like, guys, you hear that? I was kind of freaking out a little bit, it's like, guys, hear that? And what I thought it was is we had a tarp over our quarters behind camp. And I thought it was the tarp being dragged between our tents. Is what I thought it was from a bear. Like I thought it was a tarp being drugged between. Like I mean, that other tent's 10 yards away from us, and I'm like, guys, you hear that? And it's like, uh, yeah, we hear it. Next thing you know, all you hear is crunch, 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 grind, 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 and you hear this like, and it's like that ain't good. So we throw our boots on, headlamps, grab a gun, and we get out there. This bear jumped in, like tore down this other tent,
Oh man.
tore it down, and this bear is nowhere to be seen. And I mean, this tent, I'm not kidding you, 10, 12 yards away. And
Yeah,
it's just
nah.
like, I'm really glad he chose that tent and not our
Except
tent
right?
because that would have been very different. But
Yeah,
yes,
that I had the
so
same feeling last year. I went elk hunting with my buddy Rex over out in Colorado, and I'm not a big fan of tents. Like I just don't believe. Like you know how it's when you're hunting, you're like, at least I am. When I'm walking to the blind, my heart is racing, and I get in the ground blind. I know, like I don't know why I feel safe in this
oh yeah.
thing. All it is it's like a little plastic with some cheap metal wire and cheap metal bars. Anything that wants me is going to get me, but I feel safe in there. I never feel safe in a tent, and I'm a little bit afraid of the dark. So I'm trying to like, all right, we're gonna go out here and hunt. I need to put something down so we can early so we can get it packed out and get back to the truck by the time it get dark. It doesn't go that way.
Oh no.
So he's like, we gotta pitch a tent tonight. And I'm like, oh, okay. But Rex tends to get me to do stuff that's way outside my comfort zone. Cause I don't know, I feel safer with him. I don't know. So we're in this tent and I'm trying to sleep and I like finally go to sleep and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm good. And I wake up and it's like, I don't even sleep for like 5 minutes. Well, I'm laying in the tent and I feel like I hear something just outside the tent, like breathing. I'm like, Rex, it's a bear. He goes, man, it's not no bear. It's just the wind. I'm like, no, it's a bear. So I literally sat there looking at the top of the tent all night long. As soon as the sun starts coming up, all right, I can go to sleep now. And
Ah,
then he's like, hey, we gotta get up, we gotta start moving.
hey man, I've been there. I totally know exactly what you're talking about. That was
It's like, no, I can't do this, man. It just it worked my nerves, but eventually after like the second and third time, you get over it.
yeah.
And it's like, you know what? If a bear eats me, I hope he just starts with the head first. It's just it's oh man, it's terrible,
I
man.
always joke around. It's a terrible joke, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. When I go in big bear country, I do carry a gun with me, but it's not for the bear. It's in case I have to put myself out of my misery. I mean, it's terrible to say, but at the end of the day, what's a 10 millimeter going to do for an Alaska, a Kodiak brown bear? Like
Nothing.
nothing, you know?
Nothing at
Those
all.
skulls are this freaking big.
Yeah.
So
I never thought about that.
save one for myself just in case.
See, something in my mind told me I think I might be able to outrun the bear if I run in zigzags. But I
If
know
you
it's
run
like,
in
yeah,
zigzags.
if I just run like in zigzags, maybe the bear was like try to follow me. He's like, forget it, can't get him. But I know it's not the case. Not if he's hungry. He's like, nah, I definitely want to try that guy right there.
My buddy I'm going with on this trip, he's like, if you hear shooting behind you, it's not me shooting the bear. He's like, I'm shooting at you, so the bear gets you.
I
You put
always tell
me
my,
down
hey,
first.
if you're hunting with a group of people, you just got to be just be faster than the last person,
Yep.
and you're good. Hopefully.
Oh man.
Oh man, it's I don't know. It's something to me about hunting that, especially at like when it gets start getting dark. I just freak out, man. I can't be in the dark at night. I can't hunt at night. If I put an animal down and it starts getting dark, I get my heart get to racing. I was like, I gotta pack this bad boy out as fast as I possibly can. Or like a couple years ago, I killed a buck out west here in South Dakota. And you ever see those like shoulder harnesses that you can like tie it around the deer's neck and kind of pull it?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've never used one, but I've seen them.
So put a deer down, it starts getting dark, and I'm probably like I don't know, maybe 400 yards away from my truck. So I'm like, all right, how good of a shape am I in? So I literally,
You're gonna find out.
yeah, tied around his neck. Well, first I field dress him, tied around his neck, put the shoulder strap on, and I get to just trucking. Boom, boom. I thought I ran like 100 yards. I ran like 50, and I'm gassed. My thighs will get the burning. I was like, this is
You're like,
not
how
good.
much further do I got?
Right. So I'd run, stop. Didn't make it. It got dark, and then I was like, you know what? Then I was like, oh, I got my headlamp, but the headlamp is not that good. So I'm like, I'm all right. If something's gonna get me, it's gonna get me. I'm just gonna drag this thing to the truck and get to the car. And I like almost passed out. I was like dead tired. It was the worst decision ever. I should have just packed it out, put it in my pack, and dipped.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, it's just what it wouldn't worth it at all, man. Not at
You'll
all.
you'll settle in, you know. I mean, you're new to this whole space, you know, so this is
Oh
all new.
yeah. Oh, it's all new, man. Hey, now when now I'm new to archery and deer hunting. Now duck hunting,
Huh?
that's my jam, man.
Really?
I love getting out there in the water, man. Getting in the timber. I'll get in some water in my waders up to my chest. I don't know why. Like it is what it is. And down in Arkansas, we got gators, and
And that doesn't freak you out.
the first time it did. So my buddy was Rex. I'm with Rex, and we're going. I told a story on the podcast before. So we're walking into this tar spot, and I pay attention because it's dark. So I'm like, I like looking at my surroundings. And I remember there was two posts in the water like this. So we're walking through the post, and Rex, I see him reach out, kind of kick around, and I see him like step over, and he looks. He goes, "Hey man, there's a log right here." All right, so I kick log, step over, boom. We go hunt, kill a couple ducks. We all good. Coming back to the truck, I see the two posts. So I'm like, all right, there's a
No
log
log?
there. I don't want to trip over the log because if I trip over the log, I'm gonna get water in my waders. It's gonna be a bad deal, and it's cold. I see Rex look back at me, and he reach out, and he just keeps on walking through the
Oh
post.
no.
And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Oh man.
So I reach out. Ain't no log here. I feel a little like a divot, but ain't no log. So I got the decoys in my bag. So we keep on waiting. We get to the truck. So he don't say nothing. And when he don't say nothing, I know he hiding something. I was like, hey man. I'm like, what happened to that log that we crossed when we came in? He goes, I didn't want to say nothing, bro, but I'm pretty sure it was an alligator. But I knew if I said it was an alligator, you was gonna turn around and leave. He said, but dude, it's cold. They're in hibernation. They're not gonna do
Oh.
anything. I'm like, yeah, until we find that one that's like not. But like now I that's like my mind. It's cold. They're hibernating. I'm not worried about them. But I've never seen one, or I didn't see that one, but I've never have walked through the water and bumped into anything. So I'm like, we good.
What about snakes? Like water moccasins and
It's cold.
yeah, that's fair. It is duck season. That's
Yeah, it's
fair.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If it's warm, I will not be in any lake, river, none of that. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
down
with you
south.
there.
Up here, I'll swim in little ponds and lakes, but down in Texas, nah, you got too many things to worry about. You got alligator snapping turtles. You got water moccasins. I'm not with all that.
Yeah.
So are you a duck hunter? You ever get out and
You know what? I haven't here. I'll probably do a little bit this year. You know, I've got a few coworkers that are like giant duck hunters, and they've already extended some invites. So I'll do a little duck hunting. I've gotten big into the pheasant hunting and some
mm-hmm.
dove. You know, this past year and a half. So helps when there's so that's nice. So we
You
don't
know,
have a
I
dog or anything, so that makes things a little difficult. So
see I got three I got three labs, two black labs and a chocolate lab. I do not like pheasant hunting at all.
no,
It's it's boring to me. And maybe because I go by myself.
yeah,
And I have people say, "Man, you got to go in a big group, man, and it's real fun." I'm like, "Yeah." Anytime I try to set something up with people to go, they always back out on me. So I'm like, "Well, I just go by myself," and to the point where I just don't go anymore. But like out west where I hunt, dude, there's pheasants everywhere. I mean, there's guys that come in out in winter South Dakota. They come from all over the country to hunt in winter South Dakota, like
Yeah.
population, like I think 1,200 people.
Yeah,
But
but
during hunt season, the population triples. Has to.
it's South Dakota, man. They're known for their pheasants.
Yep.
So
But they taste good. I love the way they taste.
yeah.
So I I I bought the dogs originally to pheasant hunt and duck hunt. I have not duck hunted probably in the last like 6 years, and I think I pheasant hunted maybe once last year. Killed one pheasant and was like, I'm done. Like I gave my dues to South Dakota for this year.
There you go. You know what? And our pheasants down here are not great. I mean, the access that we have they're farmers, you know, so it's all ag land. So I'm hunting wet spots that they can't farm, you know.
Yeah.
So we're cattails, so it's kind of a one and done kind of deal. So, which is
Hey, I mean,
nice. You know the
all right,
spots where they're at. You hit them. You know you're gonna see some birds. Bang, bang, bang. We're going to the next. So
and that's it. So I just found this out, but Nebraska has an elk season.
we do. We got giant elk here.
I would have never guessed.
There's giant elk here. Yeah.
So are they like prairie elk or? I
Yeah.
mean,
So they're
I've
all
never been in Nebraska, so is there a lot of mountains?
so so most of the elk are, at least the hunting areas, are western Nebraska, so Sand Hill type area. So with
Okay.
that said, so I'm here in the northeast corner of the state. That's where I'm at. I had a buddy who got a picture of an elk, a bull elk, on his camera 2 weeks ago.
Oh
Not a
wow.
big one, but that's here, you know, northeast corner of the state. So
So what town you live in?
we're currently in Norfolk.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
man.
How close is that to you? I know, right?
Bro, I literally used to call on stores in Norfolk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think I'm maybe it's 4 hours?
Yeah,
No.
you're close.
Yeah, because I go through Yankton and
Yep.
then head straight. I forgot the name of the highway, but yeah, you go right up. Yeah, I've been in Norfolk a lot.
Yankton's an hour from straight north of us. So yeah,
Also, I'm only 2 hours in. I'm only 2 hours away from Norfolk. Yeah, is it Norfolk or North Fork?
it depends who you talk to. We all call it Norfolk, you know, but it's the North Fork of some river.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean, dude, it's a small world, man.
it
Because like
is. It
when I talk
is.
to people, I don't really like Sioux Falls is like right on the southern tip of South Dakota.
Yep.
But there's so many people like I talk to, like, oh man, I'm only like an hour away from you. I'm only 2 hours. I'm like, dude, like how we've never connected.
Small world, man.
Oh, dude, it is, man. It is. Oh, so question for you. I always end the podcast with this question.
Oh boy.
Oh no, before I get to that, I gotta tell you about my beef with Boone and Crockett.
Let's hear
I
it. Let's
forgot
hear
about
it.
that. I forgot about that. So a couple years ago, there's so the farm that I hunt at, the guy that owns it, his brother lives like right next to him. So the guy's granddaughter, she's out there and she's hunting, and she kills this. I mean, this deer has everything going for her. I mean, big boy. So, and mind you, it's her first buck. I think she's like 17, 18 at the time. First
Oh,
buck, this old bastard, big buck.
oh,
So I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how to score deer. I know guys that can look at a deer and tell you exactly what it is, give a little rough estimate. I'm looking like I I'd say it's 200 inches. That's a 200-inch deer. I just at top of my head, 200-inch deer. To take it to get it scored, one guy scores it at like 180, which is still a good deer. Another guy
a
scored,
giant deer.
yeah, killer deer. Another guy scores it at like 150. I'm like 150. Like I'm just, and they're
What?
getting it like officially scored. And I think eventually some guy scored it. And it was like 205 or something. It's like, yo, like that's it. You're never gonna kill anything bigger than that.
No.
Congratulations, you ruined your deer hunting for life.
Yep. Yep.
But so then I'm like, so the next day, me and my dad ended up killing a really nice deer. not as big as that one, but pretty close. I'm like, he's definitely got to be somewhere 180, whatever. So we have this banquet here in Sioux Falls, the South Dakota Bowhunter Association, and they have Boone and Crockett scores there. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh, I'm taking my mount down. I'm gonna get it officially. It's gonna be about 185, 190, because he's a nice boy. Man, he scored it at 138.
What? That's crazy. Did you ever put a tape on him?
I don't know how to tape him. I don't know how to do it.
Google, man. YouTube.
So I'm like, what? And he goes, oh yeah, man. He goes, I was like, well, what was the gross? 145. I'm like, 145. Man, look at this. Man, he's this big, man. He got a 25-inch spread. How you gonna do? Oh, he got this deduction, this time's broken, this, and start naming deductions. And I'm like, man, get out of here. I'll never score with Boone and Crockett again.
In my experience, like I said, I've not killed a lot of giant animals, but the animals. I should preface this. I had a buddy who killed a stud velvet mule deer in Colorado. That would have been probably 4 years ago. This thing is just stud. You look at this thing and you're like, he's got everything. His back forks are just like massive, beautiful deer. And I'm like, this deer is 190 all day,
Yeah.
you know? And I wanted to tape him because I wanted to know. And my buddy's like, and this guy, no Instagram, no Facebook. I mean, this dude he kills more animals than anyone I know, and nobody knows about it,
I know a couple guys like that.
Yeah. I put a tape on this thing, and it's just like, fold up that piece of paper and throw it in the trash because it was disappointing, Scored like 15 inches smaller than what I thought he was going to go, but it's just like, it's kind of like deflated, let the
Oh
air out of the
yeah.
balloon. It's like, why should I let that ruin this awesome experience?
Exactly.
It's like,
I know a lot of guys that they live and die by the tape. Like I'm like, I don't care, man.
yeah,
If it's a gnarly looking
yep,
deer,
yep,
I want it. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? I don't at this point I don't care about,
yep,
uh numbers, records, and nothing like that. I just want to be out in the outdoors and hunt.
yep.
And
About this,
I still don't know how they come up with them numbers, man. Like just there shouldn't be deductions because you can't fault the deer on
yeah,
how antlers grow. It shouldn't be deductions. It's whatever it is what it is, and let it be. But they got their own system. I'm thinking about making my own system.
well, SCI doesn't do deductions.
Is that Safari International?
Yeah, Safari Club International. They
Yeah.
they have their own scoring, and I think it's pretty much gross score, or that's the score, and done. So
Yes, I might have to go check them guys
yeah,
out.
nets for fishes, right?
You're right. Man, have you ever heard of the Rampala buck?
Was that the new world record whitetail?
No. So this
Okay.
should have been. So this happened like back in 1998. And the only reason that I like know this story is because when I was growing up, like growing up, my dad hunted. We never did, just my dad. And he would get the hunt magazines. And I remember, I forgot, I think it was North American Whitetail. They had the Rampala buck in there. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, it's a big animal. Well, he would have dethroned the Milo buck that was killed up in Saskatchewan. But he didn't, people didn't believe that it was that the deer was real. He wouldn't let people
No kidding.
score it. Or yeah, he scored it, and he had 3 buddies score it, and they worked for Boone and Crockett, but he would never let anybody else score it. Some guy offered him like $10,000 to X-ray it to see if it was actually the real deal. And then the guy that shot the Milo buck, he was doing at the time was doing a tour around the country where people was paying like $20 to walk through this trailer and see the new world record. Well, since
Jeez.
Mitch Rumpela was saying that he had the new world record, it affected his business. So he sent Mitch a letter saying, "Hey, you can't say this anymore. You're affecting my business because your deer isn't official." So Mitch like signed this little cease and desist thing, whatever, and then he just disappeared from the face of the earth. And
Wow.
like, and now like Boone and Crockett, they're all saying like, yeah, it was never official. The deer was, no one knows. And I was like, and that's nothing that kind of like rubbed me wrong with Boone and Crockett. I'm like, how did like no one ever scored it. Like
Yeah.
what would make you think the deer wasn't real? What well the reason they thought it wasn't real because there was no deer that big ever taken in that
Oh,
part of Minnesota or no, that part of Michigan. So it was like, oh, the genetics aren't there. But it's like, nah, like who's to say? I don't know. My goal, I want to find this guy. I think he's like 78 now. So I want to find him and interview him, but he hadn't done an interview since 98, so or 99. So he's like disappeared from the face of the earth.
yeah.
But yeah, check it out. The Rumpler book.
I'll have to check it
I
out.
mean, I think he had like a 38-inch spread. Yeah.
I'm assuming is
It's
that non-typical or typical?
no, it was typical. Yeah. They said that if it was scored officially after it like the gross score was 238 and the net was 225.
Wow.
But
And
no one knows where the mountain is or nothing. It just disappeared.
and here I am getting excited about a 130-inch whitetail.
Hey man, hey dude, I, I'm like you. I don't care, man. I'm not gonna go out and kill a forkhorn,
Yeah.
but if it look good to me, I'm taking it. That's just me.
Yep. No,
I'm not
hey
into
man, I get
aging
it.
deer. Like I don't know how to age deer. I got buddies like, oh no, I only take 5 to 6 year old deer. How you know, man?
I mean, Nebraska's a tough state, you know. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a deer out here that's made it to 5 to 6 years old, you know. I don't even know if I've seen one make it to 4, you know.
Hey,
Maybe, but 5, no way.
hey, go talk to some cats from Arkansas. Hey, when I tell you when it's rifle season, it's World War III. If it's brown, it's down.
Yep.
You'll see guys holding up button books,
Wow.
and they don't, and they can hunt with dogs in Arkansas.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I've never seen anybody do it, but I know like in the regs, dogs are allowed. But it's just like,
So for like pushing them and doing a deer drive?
yep,
Wow.
yep. Which is how the world record buck was killed up in Canada. Was a deer drive.
With dogs?
No, not dogs. They were just
Okay.
guys on four wheelers pushing deer, and they end
Jeez.
up pushing this one out. And I forgot the guy's something Milo. I think
Yeah,
Brian Milo
battlefield.
something. Yeah, he shot it and boom, done. So I'm like, man, I thought it was gonna be like a crazy story behind it. It's like, nah, we just pushed him out and shot him.
Yeah. I saw him and jumped out of the truck and shot.
Right? Like, hey, get it how you live.
Yeah. Sometimes don't overthink it, right?
Right? But hey, I end every podcast with the same question. Right now, today, if someone called you and said, Tyler, you can go on any dream hunt you want, all expenses paid, but you got 5 seconds to pick. Where you going and what you hunting?
Desert bighorn.
Hey, you got it.
Desert bighorn in Mexico. That's where I'm going.
What,
Yep.
what's a desert big like a bighorn sheep?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need
Yeah.
one of
Desert
them. But
bighorn sheep. So I mean, I have a sheep hunt book next year. So I would work towards my grand slam of sheep. So I would have one sheep done next year. So desert bighorn. That's pretty easy.
so if you knock uh your Big Ten out in say the next 4 years, will you be the youngest person to get it done?
Oh God, no. No, I think I just saw I think a 13-year-old girl just finished it like this year. Yep. Yep. Yep.
What job she working to pay for them hunts? Ain't nothing wrong with
I
that
don't
though.
pay for that.
Say what?
But hey, good for her though. Good for her.
Oh yeah. Hey, she got it done.
Yep. Yep. A lot of work still goes into it.
Oh
So
yeah, you still gotta get out there and make the shot. So hey,
make the shot, you got to get there. I mean, it
man,
ain't easy. So
13, man, like she got her whole life ahead of her. Now it's like,
don't quote me on that, but I think I just saw them share something. Maybe I want to say 13, 14, but
I mean,
yeah,
still, that's
yeah.
you're at the pinnacle. at 13, 14, you're at the pinnacle.
I
Oh,
mean, yeah, yeah.
so I gotta ask you, does it do like when it comes like to the game that you put down for the Big Ten, does it have to be like for like deer? Does it gotta be a buck or a bull for elk, or is it any of the
Yep.
species?
Yep. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be antlered. It could be a
Yeah.
cow. I mean, there's a lot of guys do that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I could go to Colorado next year. I'm sitting on like 18 points for sheep and moose in Colorado. So if I wanted to draw a cow moose tag, I could do it. Same thing with uh, an ewe sheep tag. I could draw that next year and be done. But I,
Yeah, no, you
I
want
mean,
you want the horns, man.
yeah. I mean, I don't. Yes, it's about the experience, but if you're shooting, I don't know, if you're shooting a nanny or a cow, moose or sheep, I should just that's just checking a box, and
Yeah,
that's not what I'm doing.
yeah,
So
it's all about the journey, man.
yeah,
It's all about
yep,
the journey.
yep,
Hey, Tyler, let the people know where they can find you on social media and YouTube and all that.
yeah, man. I do have a YouTube. I've been rather absent on it, but I want to just say it's terrible. I don't even know my own YouTube handle. I want to say it's Tyler_Preszler, and same should be for my Instagram. So I'm active there. Trying to be more active. It's always tough, but I'm there. Just Google Tyler Preszler and you should find me on Instagram and YouTube.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, this content stuff is hard work, man.
Oh man,
I,
yeah.
I give all the credit to the guys that do it full time as a
Oh
job
yeah.
because this is it's sometimes too much.
Oh man, dude. I've got like I have video from like 2019 that I just need time. Now with the job change, I got time. I've got my bear hunt. I've got my caribou hunt. I've got I have a lot of stuff teed up, but just like you said, time, man.
Yeah, I know. I went on. I watched your North Dakota hunt on there, so I was like,
Yeah,
well, he got to put more stuff up, man.
I know. I know. I've got good video of my buddy's caribou when we went in 2020. I mean, over the shoulder, this caribou came to like 70 yards. He shot with a rifle, but it's just like for me, an average Joe guy. I mean, it's about as perfect as it gets. It's
Yep. Hey,
oh,
man, to me, I appreciate the guys like you, where it's just this is raw footage. It ain't a whole bunch of editing going on. You know what I'm saying? It's not you got 5, 6 cameraman. It's just like one camera guy, one angle. That's all you get.
it's funny you say that because for a little while it's like, man, I want this super cinematic stuff. I want this to be perfect. And at the end of the day, that's why I haven't been doing much of this lately because it takes so much away from the hunt.
Yep.
So moving forward, I mean, I'm actually gonna downsize on my camera gear and I'm gonna go simple, point and shoot. If it's not easy, I ain't doing it. So it's gonna be raw, it's gonna be uncut, and it's gonna be what it is. So
Hey, dude, that's how I like it, man. Like uncut, like go check out South Dakota Bookstorm. If you might already know them, but
I have, yep, they've got great stuff. They kill some giant elk.
yep, and dude, and their stuff is just like I've heard them on a podcast. Do we just put it out there, man?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
sometimes you don't get the kill shot.
yeah.
Oh well, it's up here.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's like I want to make content that's not for people. It's for me. It's my experience. It's for my buddies.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have a buddy right now who he's in Alaska on a moose hunt right now, and I told him, I'm like, hey man, record everything. I don't care if it's iPhone, GoPro, whatever. Record everything, and we'll throw something together.
Yep.
So, and he is having a hell of a trip. I mean, they killed a 55-inch moose with droppers on like day 3, and they're still up there chasing another moose right now. So he's having a hell of a time, and I'm like back here just like, oh man, like every time I get a text message from his inReach, I'm just like, oh, is this it? Did he kill one?
Heck
It's
yeah, man.
awesome,
Hey,
man.
that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah,
Hey, well, Tyler, man, good luck to you in this season, and definitely good luck for you in your quest for the Super 10, man.
I appreciate it, man. We'll keep you posted on how the journey goes. So.
All right, definitely, man. Hey, this has been another exciting episode of the Dreaded Archer podcast. We are out.